Hi everyone, welcome to Boarded Tanks with stewiejp. I'm Stewie and this is another replay from the old mate Matchy HK from DPX clan, and he's driving one of the more popular, most famous tanks at tier 8. It's the mighty IS-3 from Russia, the heavy tank, which is relatively quick for a heavy tank. It's got a beautiful gun and pretty steady armour, and Matchy HK is going to demonstrate all those attributes in this replay on fjords as he heads down to the usual place where the heavies dish out their damage. Now Matchy's lucky enough to be top tier in this game, which is a pretty big advantage in the IS-3. Everything that the IS-3 comes up against, especially when they're lower tier, it's just free money for the IS-3, and you're going to see that early on in this replay. So Matchy's heading down to the peninsula on fjords, where the heavies traditionally deal out their damage. The FCM 50T and the 110 are both already spotted, and it looks like neither of them are heading down to the heavy brawling area, which takes out two of the enemy top tier tanks. And have a look at that, the Firefly at tier 6 is no match for the IS-3 at all. He misses his first shot, bounces his second, and Matchy puts in the second shot, taking out the Firefly, the newish tier 6 medium tank on the line which leads to the new FB4 005. He puts a blind shot up towards, I think it was a T37. He was a fair way away, whether it hit or not, I guess we'll never know. Now this replay is taken from patch 9.9. That's why it looks a little bit different. There's no Sixth Sense sound in this replay. It's just the way it goes. The T54 Mod 1, the Russian premium tier 8 tank, puts a shot into Matchy, takes him down to 2/3 health. But he's got plenty of hit points as he puts a shot into the top of the 110, the Chinese heavy tank. That Chinese heavy tank should be reloaded about the same time as Matchy, but he's pulled back. And Matchy's searching for a shot on that T54 prototype. T54 first prototype. He takes him out of the game and pulls back as he reloads. He's already picked up 2 kills. One was on the tier 6, one was on the tier 8. And it looks like there's a WZ111 and a 110 still down there. The IS-3's armour holds up against the gun of the 110, I think it was, that shot him, as he puts a shell into that WZ111, the Chinese premium tank. WZ angled his armour pretty well there. That shot was never really going to do much damage from Matchy, but he's just waiting for an opportunity. He's got plenty of backup here. He's got the T32, the T29 at tier 7, which is a pretty handy tank as well, and of course the Tiger 2 bringing up the rear, and the Carnarvon. The Carnarvon's come to play as well. The score's 3 apiece, but the only tanks that Matchy's team has lost have been lower tier tanks. Now he wants to get some damage into this WZ111. WZ111 can be quite a dangerous tank at tier 8. I've seen some pretty good replays in it. That shot looks like it either went totally wide or missed everything. And Matchy puts a handy shot right into the back of the turret of the WZ111, and it's just a slaughter on the WZ. A lot of chat going on in the chat. Now of course, because this is from patch 9.9, chat to both teams is available. Fires clutch into the T37 and gets rid of him, even though it's a tier 7. He still needs to be taken out of the game, and now Matchy's looking for a cheeky shot on the tier 6 British artillery. She doesn't do. The T29 takes him out though. It does the job. His team are down. They're clawing it back. They were down by more than one tank not so long ago. Doesn't wait for that shot to fully aim, and as a result he doesn't get a shot into the Type 59. Even though Matchy's on less hit points than the Type 59, he's got a lot more armour. He's got a much higher chance of bouncing a shot there. He gets a shot into him, They need to get rid of this Type 59 if they're going to have any chance of going up to reset that cap that's happening on their base. Now looking at the tanks that are left, be a safe call to say the FCM is probably one of the tanks that's capping. Unlucky not to get the kill, but the T-32 gets rid of the Type 59 after Matchy puts a hell of a lot of damage into him. Now looks like the cap's up to in the 30s now. Once it hits 100 it's game over, so Matchy's heading straight back to his cap, and there's that FCM. It might have a handy gun, the FCM, but it doesn't have armour, any armour whatsoever. The armour on the FCM is not going to bounce anything from the mighty Russian IS-3 at tier 8. There's also the T-343 there, which is another, it's a premium tank, but it's still a tank that's trying to cap them out. They're still down by a tank, but you would think at this angle the two artilleries probably don't have much of a shot at them, especially with the enemy tanks there as well. But you never know, they could have relocated anywhere by now. Puts another 400 hit points of damage into that FCM. So the FCM and the T-343 both on one shots now. And a little tier 6 German medium tank, VK3601. He's a one shot as well, even though he's on 30% health. It's only one shot for the big gun of the IS-3. Now in that engagement, he only lost, looks like he lost less than 200 hit points in that engagement, while he picked up his 5th kill. And now the SU-12244, the tier 7 Russian tank is going to try his luck. Look at his armour. Look at his armour, not his armour. Look at his ammunition. He's only got 1 premium shell left and 3 high explosive shells. That tells me he's had a pretty good game, old Matchy. Now he's just down to the 3 high explosive shells. He's confirmed his top gun by killing the SU-12244, which I'm fairly sure is a premium tank from the Russian line at tier 7. And it's a tank that my old mate WhatsApp loves to drive and earn a few credits in. And now it's just a case of Matchy hunting out that SPG. You'd think it'd be a foregone conclusion, but it's a tier 8 artillery, and tier 8 artillery is more than capable of dealing 311 hit points of damage in one shot. So Matchy needs to be a little bit careful when he finds it. Nice LGF 2013 from Pinoy Clan, putting some not very constructive comments in the in-game chat. Of course, that's one of the reasons that Wargaming have removed chat between the two teams in the latest patch 916. So Matchy not wasting any time, he's just going to go straight through the guts of the map and see if the artillery is down there. There he is, he's spotted him. Not a bad spot. He's been spotted himself. Only does 61 hit points of damage. That's because he hit the artillery on its side. And of course, high explosive ammunition doesn't always do its full potential of damage, but that's all he's got left. Nice LGF from Pinoy Clan, still putting some not very constructive comments in the chat. I'll be interested to see how much damage he did in the game. Fires clutch and takes out the M40, M43, tier 8 American artillery piece, confirming the 7th kill for Matchy HK. So he's picked himself up a top gun as well as a high caliber for doing all that damage. A steel wall. Of course, he got the Ace Tanker Mastery badge, which is a awesome result. Fire for effect, shell proof, duelist and bruiser. Looking at all the tanks that he damaged, spotted and killed, he more than did his job in the mighty IS-3. And looking at the second page of the post-game battle results, nearly 7,000 damage, 6,796 damage for his 7 kills for a base experience score of 1,823. That's absolutely massive. You can see he fired 27 shots. I'm pretty sure the IS-3 only carries 30 shots. 24 of them hit and 20 did damage, and that gave him his 6,796 796 hit points of damage. You've received 14 hits, but only 4 of them did damage, which was lucky, because if he had been taken out early, it would have been a pretty one-sided affair, I think, from the enemy team. He damaged 11 and killed 7. Also did a little bit of spotting damage. Not a bad game at all. Nice LGF from Pinoy Clan. Great game there, mate. Bottom score. Did fire a few shots, but only half of them did damage, even though he was a tier 7, and it's not a bad little tank, that, the FV201. Looking at the last page of the post-game battle results, 25,000 credits is a bottom line. He did fire some premium ammunition, so that would have eaten into Matchy's bottom line profit result, if you like, but that's all he had left, so that's all he had to fire. Not a bad game at all from Matchy HK from DPX Clan. An awesome game in the IS-3 Russian tier 8 heavy tank. One of the best games I've seen. Thanks very much for watching, everyone. Take care, and I'll see you all next time. And don't forget to check out Matchy's YouTube channel, which I'll put in the video description.